It's time.
LTCC Sports. Alongside my partner, Brian Reilly, I'm Mike Scacco. We have another packed show for you today in which you will hear from a Mets ace pitcher, Matt Harvey. But first, let's talk about the men's national championship game.
The men's college basketball season came to a close on Monday as the Wisconsin Badgers squared off with the Duke Blue Devils in front of 71,149 at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. It was a game for the ages, so let's get right to the highlights. Coach K and Coach Bo Ryan shaking hands prior to the game. We start off with Duke, down one. Ty Stones drives to the hole, misses the layup, but the big man, Jahlil Okafor, is there for the putback. As Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers looks on. Wisconsin down three, access denied by Justice Winslow. Duke back the other way in transition. Quinn Cook lays it in. 21-16 Duke. Wisconsin now down six off of the miss from Trayvon Jackson's three. It's the big man that Sam Decker cleans it up the mess with a nice reverse lay-in. It's Frank the Tank's turn now. He makes the layup and the foul. Boy, is he pumped about that. The Wisconsin faithful Madison is loving it. 3 minutes to go in the first half. Jackson, no, but he follows with the shot and dishes it off to a cutting Decker for the lay-in. J.J. Watt, the former Wisconsin Badger, likes what he sees. It's tied at 31 going to the half. Now to the second half. Wisconsin leading by one. Kaminsky gets around Okafor for the lay-in. Wisconsin now up 5. Kaminsky again with the layup off the inbound pass. 48-39 Wisconsin. But then it was Grayson Allen's show. Allen for the three, yes, and the lead is cut to 6. Allen again drives into the lane, gets it to go, and is fouled. Coach K is all fired up on the sidelines. Allen's losing his mind. This time it's Tyus Jones who gets the pass from Emil Jefferson, jumps up in the air, makes the basket, ends fouled. The bench and Coach K are all feeling it now. Wisconsin clinging to a 1-point lead as Kaminsky skins past Okafor for the and one. Okafor picks his 4th foul and has to head to the bench. 4 minutes remaining, Duke down 2, Tyus Jones, cool as the other side of the pillow. He drains the 3 over the Wisconsin defender to give Duke a 1-point lead. Okafor backing down Kaminsky. Gets it to go and is fouled. Okafor would miss the free throw, but it would not matter. Tyus Jones, booyah, the dagger 3 for the Blue Devils. The final seconds tick off the clock, and Coach K can celebrate another national title. The final score of this one, Duke 68, Wisconsin 63. The Blue Devils raise the championship trophy. Tyus Jones is the player of the game. The freshman had 23 points and 5 rebounds in the win. After the game, Coach K spoke to reporters about what it meant to coach this group of players.
I haven't loved the team any more than I've loved this team. And, we have 8 guys, and 4 of them are freshmen. For them to win 35 games and win the national title is incredible. I'm the coach of that group that did this. How good is that?
So, Mike, after watching the game, what was your reaction?
Yeah, so I think a guy that really stepped up in this game was Grayson Allen. He had 16 points, which is way over his season average. And at one point, he scored 8 straight with Wisconsin, when Wisconsin took a 9-point lead. This guy won the slam dunk contest and his high school All-American contest last year. Another guy who stepped up, Tyus Jones stepped up as a leader, hit a couple of huge threes there, Brian. Just really a great game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Grayson Allen definitely did step up, especially as a freshman in a game that Okafor really didn't shine like he usually does. I was watching more as a basketball fan, so I didn't really care who won. I was in it for the entertainment, and we certainly got that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was kind of pulling for Wisconsin to win just because Coach Bo Ryan's father, Butch, died in 2013, and UNC head coach Roy Williams bought a seat. So there's actually one empty seat in that whole stadium because that's where Butch would have been. And I'm a sucker for a good story. So I really think that would have been pretty cool. But overall, I got the entertainment that I was looking for.
Yeah, definitely a great game. There's some good play. Wisconsin, some of the guys on the team didn't really step up like they normally do. Sam Decker, he had a really quiet 12 points, and he was 0 for 6 from 3. Not very like him.
Yeah.
He's normally good. So now on Tuesday night, it was the women's turn to take center stage in a rematch of the 2014 finals. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish were seeking revenge as they took on the 2-time defending champion UConn Huskies. Huskies head coach Gino Auriemma was looking to tie coaching legend John Wooden for the first all-time with 10 championship wins. It was a good one. Now let's get to the highlights. Coach Gino Ariema and Coach Muffet side by side during the national anthem. We pick it up tied 6-6 as Michaela Mabry buries a three-pointer to put Notre Dame up 3. UConn comes right back. Kick out to Mariah Jefferson. Give me all 3 of those, she says. Game tied at 9. Now tied 14-11. Now at 14-11, UConn Morgan Tuck to dish to Cailin Mosqueda Lewis, who lays it in for the easy 2. 3:45 left in the first half, and Jewel Lloyd with the tough shot as he makes a falling away from the hoop. 27-23, UConn leads. Brianna Stewart from the corner, yes. She comes right back and answers with a 3 to put the Huskies up 7 late in the first half. To the second half we go, with UConn with an 8-point lead, make that 6 as Brianna Turner drains a shot as the clock expires. But once again, UConn would answer. It's Jefferson again with the easy layup to put UConn back up 8. Jefferson gives it up to Mosqueda Lewis on a 3 on the wing, hits a 3. UConn up 9 now. Mosqueda Lewis pulls up from the foul line and hits the dagger, and she's pumped. Once again, the final, UConn 63, Notre Dame 53. UConn's 3rd national title in a row and the 10th overall title for Coach Ariema. He raises the trophy, and it is all smiles for Coach Ariema with the win. Ariema joined John Wooden atop the coaching ledger with 4 championships and the most ever by a coach. By head coach. The player of the game is Mosqueda Lewis, who's finished with 15 points and 5 rebounds for the Huskies. After the game, a very emotional coach, Ariema, spoke to the reporters about yet another championship win.
It's incredibly rewarding to be able to do what we did, and it was really hard to do it. We knew playing Notre Dame was going to be really, really difficult.
So UConn wins their 3rd in a row. Ariema gets his 10th NCAA title. What do you think about this game, Brian?
I think it was amazing that he just won his 10th title, his 3rd in a row. It's unreal. I don't think it was a great game, though. I think Notre Dame was just obviously outmatched. Like, UConn is just a powerhouse. But what I really like is Brianna Stewart. She won her first 3 years. She's a junior now. Every year she got the most outstanding player in the tournament. She's looking to become the first player to ever win 4 years in a row. And I saw that the coach actually said that her freshman year went in and said, I want to win all 4 years here. And now it might actually be a dream come true for her. I think it's a great story, and I think that it's just a great team.
You know, also about her, I was looking on ESPN. She said that she didn't deserve it and that her teammate Mariah Jefferson deserved the player of the Final Four. I think Cailin Mosqueda Lewis also had a great game. She had 15 points. She had 2 separate 7-0 runs on her own, one in the first half, one in the second half. She just had a great game. And I think UConn really relied on their defense.
A very unselfish team.
Coming up after the break, I'll be talking about the big changes that the Marist women's basketball team will have to make this offseason.
Welcome back to LTCC Sports. The Marist women's basketball team had a very interesting past week, to say the least. For more on the team, here's Cailin Burke.
The Marist women's basketball team is going to look entirely different next season, as 4 members just announced that they will be leaving the team and transferring to a different school. This was the women's basketball team this past fall. And here's what's left of the team now. The Red Foxes will be without junior Madeline Blaze, sophomores Brittany Lai and Catherine Fogarty, and freshman Peyton Birchmeyer, as they all elected to transfer after the end of this spring semester. The general reaction was shock, according to returning freshman guard Allie Clement.
There were some people I knew were a little bit frustrated with the long distance and homesickness, but others were a complete shock, and we really didn't know that anyone was even thinking about leaving. So it was really disappointing, but also the decision was based on their happiness and their future and their careers. So we want what's best for them, and we wish them the best.
Along with the loss of 3 seniors, the team will now be without 69% of its scoring. Junior Eileen Van Horn says although the team was blindsided, she thinks that they can recoup for next season.
It was going to be much different than we thought it was going to be, but I think we have to just stay positive and work hard and focus on what we have.
No player has transferred out of Marist since 2011, and with the late signing period for high school recruits approaching, head coach Brian Georges calls this the biggest challenge he's faced, according to the Poughkeepsie Journal. As for the Red Foxes next season, the team will have to make a lot of adjustments because of the transferring players. Cailin, Burke, LTCC Sports.
The craziest story, and it's very abrupt. How do you think this impacts the team next year, and why do you think this happened?
You know, this really came as a shock to me. I couldn't tell you why it happened, but definitely affects the team next season. They're left with 6 players on the roster, and they're definitely going to need some younger girls, some freshmen, to step up that probably aren't used to stepping up. Like Kendall Bobb, forward for the team, didn't get any playing time last year. She might end up being a starter this year and next year. And Allie Clement, a starter last year, is probably going to end up having to step up as a leader. They're losing big guns, and Maddie Blaze, one of their top 2 leading scorers. Catherine Fogarty was a big contributor down low. You know, this is a real big hit for them, and hopefully they could pull it together next season.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a hard turnaround. It came out of nowhere. It doesn't really make sense to anyone yet. We're waiting on more news to come out on it. Has there been any word on where these players are transferring to? Are they transferring to the same school together?
You know, I think from what I've heard that they all have their different reasons for leaving, and all are pretty much looking to go different
They all have their
places.
own motives.
Yeah, so, you know.
It's crazy. It's a really big blow for Marist. We'll see how they bounce back next season. Coming up, could the Mets really finish with a better record than the Yankees this year? Is it really a question? We'll have all that and more right after this. Officially underway. The New York Mets and the New York Yankees both open up their seasons on Monday afternoon. The Mets were in Washington to open their season and came out on top with a 3-1 win after being held hitless for the first 5 innings against Nationals ace Max Scherzer. Lucas Duda opened the scoring in the 6th for the Mets with a 2-out RBI single to right, scoring David Wright and Curtis Granderson. The Mets added another run in the 7th on an RBI triple by Travis d'Arnaud. Starting pitcher Bartolo Colon went 6 innings, giving up only 1 run in the win. Today, the Mets will take the Nationals in the final game of the series. It's a rubber match. Matt Harvey, who will be back on the mound today for the first time in 2 years, spoke about his return.
Everything feels good. I think the big thing now is getting from 60 pitches to closer to 100. So, you know, obviously the weather's going to be warmer down here than it is up there. So getting a little bit extra prepared is definitely something that we, you know, definitely want to do.
There's a lot for Mets fans to look forward to this season, and a big piece of the puzzle is Matt Harvey. We will see what happens when he takes the mound today in Washington. First pitch is scheduled for 1:05 p.m.
The Yankees opened up at home on Monday, falling to the Blue Jays 6-1. Masahiro Tanaka only lasted 4 innings, giving up 5 runs, all of them coming in the 3rd inning. The lone bright spot for the Bronx Bombers was a solo home run by Brett Gardner in the bottom of the 6th inning. After the game, Alex Rodriguez spoke about the reception of the New York fans.
I have a lot of love for the city of New York, and especially our fans. But let's make it clear, I mean, the fans don't owe me anything, you know. I've said all along in spring training, that part of being a rookie, feeling like a rookie, is that I have to earn their cheers and their respect.
CC Sabathia will take the ball today for the Yankees in his first start back since he underwent knee surgery last season. First pitch is scheduled for 7:05. So, Brian, who do you think is going to finish with a better overall record this year, the Yankees or the Mets?
How could you think it's the Yankees? Of course it's going to be the Mets, and I'll tell you why. It's baseball, so anything could really happen, but the Mets capitalize on mistakes, and I don't think that the Yankees could do that. You saw it in Game 1. There was an error after no hits, and there's 2 men on base. Lucas Ducci got a do-do to hit it right into right center, brought in 2 runs, and I don't think the Yankees have a team that will do that.
Well, you know, it's early in the season, but I think the Yankees have the pitching staff to get some good things done this year. You know, we have Masahiro Tanaka last year.
For a couple weeks until he blows out his arm, I mean.
Last year he put up 13 wins with under a 3 ERA, and I might add that those 13 wins are more than Matt Harvey's total wins in 2 years with the Mets.
Okay, but I doubt he makes it past June, so you got to find somebody else to go. What are you going to do? CC? This isn't 2006. It's not going to. There's going to be no point for that.
You know, it could happen.
Thank you. Coming up after the break, I will sit down with Marist water polo player Jessica Hamby for an exclusive one-on-one interview.
Welcome back to LTCC Sports. With just 3 games remaining in its regular season, the Marist women's water polo team is sitting in first place of the MAC with a record of 9-1. For more on the Marist team, here's Connor Ford.
Hi, thank you for joining us, Jessica. You were talking to me earlier. You said you're a whole set. Can you briefly describe what that means and how you impact the game?
In water polo, we have 6 players, and my position is whole set. If you look at how it's formed, the formation, I play right in front of the goal. I'm a main offensive player where essentially our offense works for me to try and get me the ball since I'm so close to the net. When the ball comes in, I either get a quick goal or I get a kick out or an exclusion, which is essentially where we are up 1 man because the defender on me gets kicked out. So that's basically what I do.
So how do you feel your season has gone so far? You're currently 3rd in the team in goals, 5th in points. Are you happy with your play this far?
Yeah, I'd say I'm really happy with how I'm playing. I think as a team overall, we are all playing really well, and my contributions to the team help us get better, just like everyone else's. So I think this season's been going really well, especially for me.
All right, so I see your sister, your twin sister, Allison, also is on the team. So what was it like growing up playing with her? Is there sibling rivalry? Do you guys push each other, or is it more team-based where sister comes second?
She and I, we started playing, and they put me as a whole set, and then they were just told her, they're like, why don't you just go guard her? And it wasn't ever, it was more like we were really aggressive players, and we really liked pushing each other. And so when we fight in the water, it's not like fist fighting or we really hate each other. We're really just like pushing each other because we do want to win. So she defensively wants to take the ball from me, but I offensively want to score. So like there's been times where she and I will just battle it out, and I think that it's been really fun playing with her, and ending my college career with her is something really great that I'm really happy about.
All right, so speaking of the team, you guys are 9-1 in MAC play, 17-12 overall, with 3 games remaining in the MAC play. Do you feel like this season's been a success for the team? Do you guys like where you're at? I mean, 9-1, you can't really complain with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think compared to last year, our team has really grown. I think Natalie, as a coach, has really helped us develop even more. And then this year, we're a strong unit where, like, a lot of teams, and last year we had an issue with, like, some people just being better than others or people being more aggressive, but then this year everyone is aggressive, everyone's a shooter, everyone's been stepping up. So our 9-1 has been, our 9-1 record has been essentially because of everyone's contribution. So like this season's been going really, really great towards that.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have. Thank you for joining us. The Marist women's team finished up the season this weekend, and then MAC play starts April 25th right here in Poughkeepsie. So thank you, and I'll throw it back to Mike.
The Marist women's water polo team will complete its regular season this weekend as they take on MAC rivals Siena and Wagner in a doubleheader on April 11th in New Rochelle, New York. The first game against Siena begins at 12 p.m., followed by the nightcap against Wagner at 5:30 p.m. On Sunday, the Red Foxes will be right back at it to take on Hartwick at 3 p.m. in the season finale. The MAC championships are scheduled to begin on April 25th and will take place right here in Poughkeepsie. For more information on the water polo team, log on to GoRedFoxes.com.
I'm Frank Sala, and when we get back, we'll see how these guys help lead the Marist men's volleyball team into the championship match.
Welcome back to LTCC Sports. The Marist men's club volleyball team took part in a recent tournament. For more on how they fared, here's Frank Sala.
The Marist men's volleyball team recently competed in the New England Collegiate Volleyball League Division II Regional Championships at Fairfield University. After coming in as the 8th seed, the team posted a 2-2 record in their pool, which was good enough to advance them to the Elite Eight. They swept through the quarters and the semis, which set them up with the host Fairfield in the finals, where they were unable to pull out the victory. Junior middle hitter Josh Cailin talked about how the crowd played a crucial role in the outcome.
The crowd was loud. We had to adjust it. Unfortunately, the outcome didn't really turn out what we wanted to, but it was a fun atmosphere. We really tried to get together as a team, and unfortunately, we just came up a little short.
Cailin added how important it was for the young guys to gain this experience.
Very important, because when we get back to this tournament next year, they'll have more experience because we're losing seniors.
Head coach Omar Sandamani explained how the team as a whole can learn from the experience and get back to the finals.
To get back to that championship game and to get over that, I think the experience is going to help that they've had, the experience that they're going to get in the off season and coming back and working hard in the fall.
Junior captain Joe Recchia talks about what playing in the Division II finals means for Marist men's volleyball.
I'm sure we go unrecognized around campus, and I would hope to have our name out there and people actually knowing, wow, this men's volleyball team, they know how to play, and they're a lot of fun to watch.
The men's volleyball team hit a few bumps in the road this season, but they're ready to set themselves up and spike their way back into the championships next year. For LTCC Sports, I'm Frank LaSala. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Frank. Opening night wasn't all fun and games for the fans who waited all winter long to head back to the ballpark. On Sunday night, the Cubs and the Cardinals faced off in what promised to be a great game. However, there was one problem, and it had nothing to do with the product on the field. The bathrooms flooded. Lines backed up, and it caused complete chaos. The problem started when two of the floor restrooms on the upper deck were shut down because of flooding. The fans were forced to go to the bathroom in beer cups. Since the incident, the Cubs have released a statement saying that moving forward, we plan to supplement the existing restrooms with an additional portable units and will continue to monitor wait times. Okay.
Well, that's all the time we have for you today. Make sure to tune in next week for another episode of LTCC Sports. Along with my partner, Mike Scacco, I'm Brian Reilly. Have a great day, everybody.